My name is Nicole Conway, and I'm the proud wife and best friend of Louis Conway Jr. For the past 2.5 years, first of all, I would like to thank all of our family and our friends for coming out and supporting us today. Such a momentous occasion. A special thank you to all of you who live in District 1 who came out to support. As we stand before you, we stand on the shoulders of all those who were here before us. Those who were in prison, fought, and died for our rights to vote. This is an opportunity that should not be taken for granted. If you have not registered to vote, do that today. We have people here that can register you on site. The campaign slogan, "We Not Me," represents we, the people. People who look just like you and me. People who are underserved and live in our communities. When Louis gets into office, we all get into office. I'm inspired by this man because not only does he push me to be greater, he pushes himself to work harder, not for self, but for others. By profession, my husband is a criminal justice organizer, but he's also an advocate for justice and the rights of the people. I have watched my husband stay up many nights researching different avenues to improve our way of living.
Take your time.
For affordable health care, slowing down the rapid growth of gentrification, a hospital on the east side of IH-35, and saving the homes that we grew up in. We will work selflessly to improve the conditions in our community. These neighborhoods have turned into overpriced condos and 3-story homes that also include skyrocketing taxes. It's time that we reclaim our neighborhoods and bring our families back to our rich heritage. Our community is our family, and it's time we fight for our families. We have accepted this job not because we think it will be easy, but because we know that changes need to be to serve our people. I'm reminded of a time. We'll wait for this plane to go beyond. I'm reminded of a time that we were at the beach and Louis asked me to walk with him. As we approached the edge of the ocean, he told me to keep walking and not to let his hand go. As we got further and further into the deep, we walked further and further and the waves started getting to be harder and harder, but we kept our hands locked together. No matter what deep waters we have to go through, and regardless of the waves, we will stand together, hands locked, to work for you. This journey is much bigger than us, so we need your help more than ever during this election process. Whether it's canvassing a neighborhood, ensuring that you as well as others are registered to vote, or simply getting out the information on a platform. Let's make our city and the district that we live in great again. Get out and vote. I now introduce to you Louis Conway Jr. for the seat of City Council, District 1.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna cry. That wasn't my intention until Courtney Robinson showed up, and then it was all over with, right? There's a lot of folks here that have seen different phases of my life, and so I appreciate you being here. And before I get into the remarks that I prepared, when I say people, y'all say power. People? Power! People? Power! Yeah, man. So that's why we start like that, right? And that's why we do this in this place at this time, because of people. And so I'm going to say thank you, first of all, to Mr. Rico Garcia, which is somebody I met while I was fighting for Fair Chance at the state capitol. He was one of the few people that took my analysis serious. And so now he's here, right? Shout out to Annette Price. I'm very intentional about what we are doing here. Annette didn't share her past, but there's a reason why she's the campaign manager. Annette did 20 years in prison. You understand? So there's a reason why she's the campaign manager. And there's a reason why we are in Craigwood. All right? Give a shout out to Maria Milner. You show her some love. Mi hermana. Gracias, Pastor. ¿Me entiendes? La gente is why I do it. Finally, my wife. My wife saw me when I decided to step out of the boat, right? Out of the boat of normalcy, out of the boat of doing what was expected of me. She stood beside me in a time where we spent, we was broke, right? Right? There was a time period where I made a decision that not only was I going to change my life, but I was going to change the life of others. And I didn't know what that meant. But why here? Why now? Why not? Right? Proverbs 31:8 is where I think we should begin. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. For the rights of all who are destitute, speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and the needy. I can't think of a better place to start than there. In no other city, at no other time, is our story possible. At no other time in this city's past is this time more important. At no other juncture have we find ourselves in a period that is divisive, in a time period where people are losing their homes and people are striving for a better quality of life. Oh, somebody better grab that or we're going to be in trouble. And so I'm from Austin. I was raised over there in Coronado Hills. Don't worry about the order. I was raised over there in Coronado Hills. And my parents moved us here from Abilene, Texas. How many of y'all know where Abilene is? Yeah, man. So we moved here because my dad wanted to work for civil rights and he wanted to work for equal opportunities at the state comptroller's office. And so District 1 has literally been part of my life for as long as I can remember. I went to Maplewood. I went to Andrews. I went to Pierce. I dropped out of Reagan and ended up at HT. So my roots, my DNA is right here in this block, on these streets. And so my father, who was a pastor, you might know Grant Chapel AME over there on 12th and Chicane. You might know Young's Chapel out there in St. John's. My mother was a hairdresser, Miss Dorothy Conway. I call myself Miss Dorothy Conway's baby boy. She did most of y'all mama's hair, right? So our roots run deep. And so part of my DNA as well is that my grandfather went to prison for murder in 1932. He got out of prison when he was 60-odd years old and he died 4 months after release. Well, at the age of 21, I was convicted of voluntary manslaughter. At the age of 22, I went to prison. At the age of 30, I was released from prison. At the age of 42, I finished parole. And so for the last 17 years of my life, I have been a father, I've been a grandfather, I've been a husband, I've been an advocate, I have been an activist, I've been somebody that has dealt with the onerous foot of oppression. And so I connect with folks that have that same background. And so at a time when our compassion as a city is under attack on a national and state level, at a time when we find ourselves divided over a zoning and land development plan that has cost us $8 million in consultation fees, at a time when the state is punishing our city for owning some of the most valuable property in Texas by forcing the average Austin homeowner to pay $1,300 to $1,400 extra in taxes that goes to other schools and other districts. At a time when District 1 should be leading on issues like sidewalks, police brutality, and municipal bonds, we find ourselves behind the curve. We believe now is the time to speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, and stand up for the rights of all who are destitute. You see, we believe we began this campaign at a time of great and magnificent opportunities for District 1. Right here in a neighborhood that has seen the best of times and some of the worst of times. Driving in, perhaps you saw the disparity, or maybe you missed it because you're so used to seeing newly remodeled homes situated next to homes that are in need of desperate repair. Perhaps you missed that. When we came to the team, we told them we wanted to do the announcement in Craigwood. You can imagine the looks I got, right? But once they realized that we were serious and they began to understand the intentionality that this campaign is rooted in, they began to understand why. They began to understand that we hope to run the most radically compassionate, the most radically inclusive, the most radically equitable campaign that brings the electoral process to the further reaches of this precious Eastern Crescent we call District 1. We began with the radical ideal of putting the people in office via a directly impacted individual. Beginning with the premise that directly impacted people should directly impact policies that are directly impacting them. Yeah, it's radical. Untraditional? Somewhat. Unconventional? Absolutely. We believe traditional politics, policies, and politicians are responsible for the conditions that we find ourselves in. A campaign that is not only for the people, but from the people. A campaign rooted in a radical ideal of bringing unity back to the community. A campaign rooted in the ideal of giving people, all people, in this district access. Not just access to housing and affordability, and to a better education for our children. Access to affordable housing, access to city-subsidized housing, access to fair chance housing, access to better health care regardless of your income, access to a District 1 cooperatively owned credit union, access to a better quality of life through cooperative efforts that engage the entire community, a District 1 restaurant, a District 1 supermarket. Can you imagine? A District 1 urban farm and retail market. That's why we came to Craigwood first. A neighborhood where folks are afraid of losing their homes, afraid of losing their schools, afraid of being the next victim of police brutality, afraid of their door being kicked in by ICE. Resilient, hardworking, God-fearing people that now find themselves sacrificing more and more of their paychecks to taxes, rent, childcare, and still finding a way to feed our families. Operating under the guidance of the simple philosophy of those who are closest to the problem, are closest to the solution, but always furthest from power, opportunity, access, and resources. As my wife stated today, we stand on the shoulders. We stand on the shoulders of history as we shield our eyes from the bright glare of the present. We are able to squarely fix our vision on the future. 2 years from now, 4 years from now, 30 years from now. We stand on the shoulders of those that have come before us. We stand on the shoulders of Arthur DeWitt, Dorothy Turner. We stand on the shoulders of those that have gone before us. Kevin Brown, Daniel Rocha, David Joseph. We stand on the shoulders of Breon King. Oh, today we lay hold to the pebbles of divisiveness, the stones of despair and poverty, the boulders of racism and brutality. And we take hold of those stones, we together. We lay the foundation for these streets of hope, these streets of change, these streets of opportunities, together with your help. We can give folks a living wage of more than $15 an hour. Together with your help, we can preserve and protect our neighborhoods. With your help, we can rewrite our land use and development code. With your help, we can invest in community schools. And when we are elected, you are elected. So that means we got some work to do. We will provide East Austin the type of leadership that keeps District 1 first. With your help and with your permission, I hereby announce my intention to run for City Council. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. I want y'all to meet each other. And if you're not registered to vote, I want you to get registered to vote. All right? But most importantly, I want y'all to network. And see, if it wasn't for this situation, a lot of y'all folks wouldn't even know each other. So I want y'all to talk to each other and meet each other. To the person on your left and the person on your right, I want y'all to say hello. Thank y'all so much. Yeah, let's get to it. Young lady, thank you. Y'all voters, who's registered to vote? I live east side of what?
Give it up one more time for the C. Murphy Band.
7829. 7829.
I'm St. Marcus.
You can still tell folks, we did some Fair Chance High stuff up there with Jordan at the school up there, the UCC Church. But I'm on that incarcerated. I did 8 years in prison. And I'm here to change, how politics usually land on folks. All right, so tell somebody about it, please. All right?
Like a monster?
I'm too fat. I got heart problems. Family. I am Ryan Paul. Yes.
Coming to the stage, we'll have Ghost Note.
Right here. Family. Family. No. Yard man. Get me on. Family. How you doing?
Good.
My name is Louis Conway. I'm going to move up for office here.
I'm proud of you, man. I hope you make it, too. I'm in Houston.
That's okay.
But I'll pass the word.
It's not just about me, right?
No, it's not. We've lost so much because we didn't have anybody come here. I'm from here and I moved away. This isn't East Austin.
We're going to bring it back.
Yeah.
Right?
I appreciate it. I'm going to email you.
Okay.
Is your email on there?
Yes,
I'm going to let you know I'm a vendor that talks to you. You need shirts, I'll hook you up.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it.
No problem. Have a good one, man. What's up, Councilman?
Running for City Council. We want to bring energy and health care for folks who want to drop property taxes, and we definitely want to be able to have folks directly impacted engage in the selectoral process. Let's do it, man. Let's do it, man. Okay. I didn't know you, dog.
Oh, it's a nice
Should have known. Should have known. You know, I went to school here with Tiptoe and all that.
Oh, you okay?
That's crazy. Hey, listen. Look at Tiptoe. Hey, this is how Tiptoe do me. Tiptoe. Tiptoe. What you doing, man? Make that happen. I said, Tiptoe, how you doing? Tell me how you're doing. Oh,
That sounds like Tip.
I see y'all.
What's the deal with Midtown? Because you gonna have something in Midtown tomorrow? Oh, I know that they're under negotiating. They're trying to settle right now. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, that's what yeah.
But you have obviously you have a contact person that you're dealing with.
That one, this one too.
With Johnny Taylor, Stunner, AT Stunner, and Brandy Cash.
Okay. And that's his son or
Well,
something?
Brandy is her daughter. Okay. It's Selena's daughter. This is Cash's daughter. Johnny Taylor has been managing him.
How's your dad doing?
Not well.
Still the South. Same thing,
He's still south. He's not doing well. He's got this pneumonia.
Get with me. Let me know what
I will. It's I thought she was around here. Baby. This is Charles White.
How you doing?
This is my dad.
And so I'm offering my catering and hospitality and anything.
So can you make sure that it makes it's in
You have a card?
I
I
gave
just
him
gave all of them out.
You gave me yours?
He's got me on LinkedIn.
Oh, perfect.
He's got me on LinkedIn. Just send me something else with your
I will
letterhead
tell
and
her.
everything. All right?
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Yeah. That's what I need to tell people. They email me saying, what are we going to do about the problem? I said, well, if you tell me where it's at,
I appreciate it.
I can have the here.
Absolutely. Why do I feel like a politician?
Because you are.
Why? Family, what's good? Man, I did 8 years in prison. I did 12 years on parole. Right? I'm trying to change this whole game for folks like us. Bring us some healthcare, some property tax, and keep it all out. All right? Young lady.
I like your shirt. Did you get that here? Your shirt? Let's go.
I am sweating though. I thought it was great. I was wondering why. It's like, which way, y'all? There's most people that way, you think?
Yeah, because they bought food.
Young man, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good.
You too.
My name is Louis Conway.
Okay, I
We're
remember you.
going
Yeah. You have a book out?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, you came by Midtown several years ago. I have your book. Yeah, sure do. Yeah, well, good. Thank you for this. Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? I'm running for city council. I did 8 years in prison. I did 12 years on parole. And I want to bring the citizens. I want to drop some property taxes. Hospitals to the east side. Bring a bank to the east side. There's no reason why we shouldn't have no cities over here on the east side. We own all of our cities. All right, will y'all tell somebody about it? I appreciate it. We're trying to drop property taxes and bring health insurance for everyone regardless of income, bring true affordability. And we're going to bring some hospitals to the east side. Bring a bank to the east side. All right? And we're going to stop them from trying to turn every lot into a triplex, every lot into a duplex, right? But we still want to provide housing for folks. All right? Thank you. Young man, how you doing?
Great, how you doing?
Wonderful. District 1. I did 8 years in prison. I did 12 years on parole. And I want to bring health care to folks, regardless of their income. I want to drop property taxes for folks on the east side.
Sounds great, man. That's a blessing, man, to do that. God is good.
God is always.
I did 7.
Oh, see, there you
You
go.
know what? One time.
That's all it took, right? I did 8. I did 8 years and did
I
12.
retired from my job. I
All right.
got straight.
Now you see why I'm doing it?
Oh, yeah. That's good. That's good for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
people
Tell me your
think
name.
they can't do it. I'm Derek Music.
Derek,
I'm a household name and all.
that's my wife, Nicole.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I will definitely be there for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Can be done.
It will be done. As long as I got your help, I can make that happen. My name is Louis Conway Jr. I'm running for City Council for District 1. We're sharing with you planks from our District 1 plan. And right now we're in an area that's called Craigwood. This is one of the areas that is in a direct pathway of gentrification. This is one of the areas that has yet to have been bought up by folks, but property taxes are pushing folks out of their homes. Many of you know that Austin pays some of the highest property taxes in Texas. Our property taxes are being used to fund school districts around Texas. Not school districts in this area, but around Texas. And so the higher taxes we pay, the more folks are able to benefit outside of our city. And so as our values are going up, as folks are losing their homes because their land assessment has gone up, that means that we are displacing people and we are inviting other folks in on the very backs of the folks that we're displacing. One of the things that we said we're going to do is that we're going to go to the state ledge and we're going to fight hard to make sure that our taxes are being used in our city, and that our taxes are going to stay in our city. As we canvass this neighborhood, the recurring theme is the fear of losing their home. One of the things that we're talking about is collective land ownership. The city is operating with a community land trust right now. We want to expand that program. We're looking to give folks long-term ownership opportunities. We're looking to give folks long-term tax abatements. So we believe that there should be tax abatements for elderly folks. We believe that we should have tax freezes for fixed incomes and vulnerable incomes as well. We believe that we should find every reason possible to help folks stay in their homes and help folks from losing their neighborhoods. All right, again, my name is Louis Conway Jr. and we're sharing with you planks from our District 1 plan. My name is Louis Conway Jr. and I approve this message. My name is Louis Conway Jr., talking to you about some of the ideas that we have about bringing sustainable growth to Austin, Texas, particularly District 1. We are between Springdale and Manor Road on 51st Street. And behind me, you will see a field that is empty. And the reason why it's empty is that it used to be a public housing. But the problem is it's in a flood zone. And you'll see a lot of construction after this area, but there's nothing happening here. And because it's in a flood zone, they're not going to be able to build on it. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to grow food here. We believe that there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to put an urban farm market here. So this means that this is a perfect opportunity for us to help provide food, help provide employment, bring a sustainable development to this area, not only for poor folks, but also be able to service these restaurants in this area. My name is Louis Conway Jr., and I'm talking to you about the District 1 plan.
Tell me why you're running and what kind of opportunity it affords you and the community that you want to serve.
Sure. So the purpose for running for city council is to change the entire scope of electoral politics. It's to give people who have been historically marginalized, historically penalized, and criminalized an opportunity to become active participants in a participatory democracy. It's about giving people a voice who have been historically voiceless. It's about providing people a tangible example of what can happen when opportunities are given. There's nothing exceptional about me. I've just been given exceptional opportunities. And so I believe that with those opportunities that have been given, if they were given to others who are just like me, if people who have my background are able to see someone like me, perhaps they become inspired. Perhaps they can see themselves in a different light, a transformational light, and realizing that because they are closer to the problem, they are closer to the solution.
There is a terror that shoots through members of marginalized groups when they are arrested, and when they're incarcerated, each day of their sentence is often spent in fear. The source of their fear is the knowledge that they may not live through the experience. They have to live with the understanding that they may never see their release date.
So the visual tonight was specifically to celebrate and honor the lives of those that passed just in the last year. There were 634 people that died in custody. And it's also launching our prison closure campaign. We are campaigning to close 4 private prisons. And so this is our way of kind of honoring those lives and as well bringing awareness to those lives. So we are just hopefully inspiring the lawmakers that there's no reason to spend an extra $14.8 million to keep these prisons open. And as you know, these prison contracts grow by 2% each year, and they call it the cost of living. So it just makes sense for us to close them. As a young man, I sat in that prison cell and I prayed to God that He would use me in a mighty way. I just never imagined it would manifest into politics. But I'm prepared to do whatever is necessary to make sure people realize the best conditions in their lives. That is my ministry. As a criminal justice organizer, I don't just organize communities that are directly impacted. I'm an advocate for justice, and I work tirelessly for just that. Not only at City Hall, but at the state capitol and in communities as well. Working for people is important to me because I believe we can bring unity back to the community and restore families. My parents brought me and my 2 sisters to Austin when I was just 5 years old to fight for equal employment opportunities and civil rights. And though we don't have an extended family in Austin, District 1 has literally been my family for as long as I can remember. District 1 is made up of hardworking, caring, kind, courageous people that have stayed the course and have sacrificed. And I'm inspired by that. And that is why I say, when I become city council member, you become city council member. As an organizer, I work with experts all the time. And I know that the problems that District 1 faces won't be solved by one individual with all the answers. I know that it will take a collective genius, a combined effort of a unified city. People are experts in their own condition. People deserve to be heard. They deserve a leadership that is dependable and decisive, that will consider seriously the concerns of all citizens, not just those that they are beholden to. We will fix our infrastructure. We will provide unprecedented access to health care and opportunity. We will decrease crime. And we'll do this together.
I'm committed to this.